Howdy everybody. If you're watching this, more than likely you are a part of the Ultimate Frisbee track. Now, we're going to talk about Ultimate Frisbee here in just a moment, but introductions first. My name is Mac and this is Zach, and we'll be giving you the instructions on getting to know your Frisbee, how to throw and catch a Frisbee, and some of the mechanics of the games, as well as some stretches that you can do beforehand to get warmed up that help you during the game. Okay? First and foremost, if you have not played Ultimate Frisbee before, make sure you get a chance to get used to the feel of the disc. Most of the times what we use is 175 grams, pretty hard plastic there, has a nice rim on it. It is not a dog Frisbee, nor is it one of those giveaway Frisbees you can receive at a college fair or anything like that. These are something you can easily buy in Walmart though, and they are super fun. I like to get the bright colors. You can get any color you want, or some of them have cool designs, but definitely get to know it before you actually start playing. The better you get the feel for it, the easier it is to play during the game. So what we'll start off with is just some of the throws, and then we'll go over some of the catches. You'll notice the catches as we do the throws. So first of all, you just have your standard backhand, and so that's where your backhand is the part that you'll see while throwing it. And I have my thumb on the top of the Frisbee and my index or my pointer finger on the rim of the Frisbee. Now what I tell to all beginners who are just learning about Frisbee or haven't played too much, if you're struggling with throwing or if you're worried about throwing, what I recommend is bringing the Frisbee up to your shoulder, and then when you're about to throw it as you're pointing the finger at who you're throwing it to. And so that usually gives it a clear stop and go point that allows you to have a clear path. A lot of people try to start from the waist down here and try to throw it up, and that causes all sorts of issues. So again, what I recommend, from the shoulder, then point. Okay. And it might start off kind of wobbly, and that's okay. But the one thing you want to make sure, especially when starting off, that you're actually getting in the general direction of the person. They can run around, they can do different stuff like that, but as the thrower, it's your job to try to get it as best as you can to the person you're throwing it to. So if you're just learning or doing anything like that, some basic steps to do just as I said. And then there's a more advanced throw. If you have played Frisbee before, all you do, again, your thumb would be on the top of the rim, and then you have two fingers on the inside of the rim, your index and your middle finger. Now, the reason I point out these is because the way you grip the Frisbee is very important. It helps you with overall balance, and when it comes off your hand, it can help determine whether it's wobbly or not. Okay? And so I like to have my hand like this, and the way you throw, you're going to use your wrist more so than your arm. Throwing, you get all your spin from your wrist, and you get a little extra power from your arm. So try not to overpower it with your arm, and try not to underspin it and overspin it with your wrist. So I'm going to come to the side. Usually I have someone hold it like this, and then I just make them flip it over. So the way that you know that you have it right, if your hand position's right, like this right here, flip it over. Make sure that you can see your forearm here. So I'm just going to throw it to Zach. He caught it, nice and simple. Okay? And those are the main two that you'll mainly be sticking with. One, it's just kind of more comfortable. Another one, if you get used to it, is really handy in a lot of situations. It can be helped to reach around, do different stuff like that. Okay? Now, while also talking about throws, we also have to talk about catches. There are mainly two types of catches that we teach when talking about using the Frisbee. Now, one is what we have called the gator clap. You might see it and you might do it even without knowing. That's just when you simply clap the Frisbee between both your hands, okay? So when I throw it to Zach, he's going to clap it. Same when he throws it back. So he claps it, I clap it. And so these are some of the beginning catches. But then there's one more. Once you get used to catching, you'll be able to catch without using one of your hands. You can easily just do a single-handed catch. And that could look from anything like you catch it between one hand, or you simply just do a nice simple hold to the catch. So again, I'll throw it to Zach. Caught it, one hand, very simple. Caught it, one hand. And so these throws are very basic. The more advanced you are, you may not want to do the gator clap, or if the gator clap feels more unnatural, you don't have to. But those are my two recommendations, that if you are beginning or if you are still learning gator clap, move into just catching it with one hand and then find a way to have some fancy parts of it later. Okay? So after we've now gone over your Frisbee, getting to know it, throwing it, and catching it, we're also going to go over the general rules of the game. Rule number 1, this is a low to no contact sport, definitely low, okay? So you are not going to be tackling anyone at any point in time. So say if I have the Frisbee, Zach over here is going to defend me. Now, one thing you're seeing Zach doing, he's putting his hand out. You have to be at least an arm's length away. So you can't be in your face. You should not be able to smell the person's breath from your position. So Zach's right there. He's perfectly defending me just how he is. I'm trying to go around, trying to do things like that. He is doing a good job defending by himself. That leads us into the next rule, no double teaming. As soon as double teaming is seen, the game would be put on pause until everyone's put back into position. You cannot double team on when someone has the Frisbee. You cannot have multiple people coming at you. Okay? So Zach, defend me again. One rule as well, if you have the Frisbee, you actually have to stop. You can't just keep running like football. You actually have to stop, and this defense position happens. And then when you are stopped and you are being defended, you have the option of doing 3 steps. So it could look like 1, 2, 3, throw. Or you don't have to take all 3. You can just come back and you can just do 1, throw, or 1, 2, throw. You have a maximum of 3 steps, okay? Once you get the Frisbee, again, like I said, you have to stop. Which kind of leads us into what it means to score. So normally when you score, just like in football, they have an end zone. And most of the times the end zone is clearly marked off. You can see it either by chalk lines or maybe there are some cones out, and you have to be able to clearly see it. Now, what happens is when you score, you cannot run the Frisbee into the end zone. That goes to the same part as you have to stop when you get it. Secondly, if you are stopped, you cannot use your 3 steps to score the point. The only way the point is scored, say for example, Zach, move over here into that location. We're going to use that location as the area to where he is scored. He is standing in it. You have to be standing in the end zone. Boom. We just scored a point. Or, Zach, will you step on the other side of the line? You have to jump into the end zone. You cannot step into it, but if you jump and you catch it in air and land in the end zone, and you have the disc firmly, boom, you just scored a point. So Zach, here we go. Boom, he jumped, caught it in air. He is now in the end zone. And so those are your basics for how your Frisbee should feel, how you should throw with it, how you should catch, and even some of the overall mechanics of the game. But one big thing, you have to know, just like football that has the end zones and everything like that, there are also turnovers, okay? Now, a turnover happens, say for example, me and Zach are on a team. I try to throw it to Zach, and it doesn't make it. That means it goes from our team's disc to the other team's disc. So that means now the other team can take it the opposite direction of the field. So as soon as there is an incomplete pass, then it is a turnover, okay? Now, me and Zach are on opposite teams. So now say, for example, I'm trying to throw to somebody beyond Zach, and he intercepts it. Okay, he intercepts it. That is a turnover. It goes from being my team, and I'm trying to go down this way, to my end zone, to Zach intercepts it, and now it goes to the other team going this way to their end zone. Okay? And then another part, if Zach does not catch it, but he just slaps it out of air, and it hits the ground, that's also legal. So again, I'll throw it to my buddy over here, but Zach's going to just slap it out of air. Boom. Even though Zach was the last one to touch it, it was up to me to make the complete pass. And because it was an incomplete pass, even though he did slap it down, it's still considered a turnover. Okay? Now, Zach, will you come up here and go on defense? You cannot slap it out of anyone's hands. If I have a full grip on it, no slap, like you cannot just slap and say, oh, that's a turnover. That's not how it works. If I throw it, boom, he can do whatever. But you cannot be up in this person's face just trying to slap the disc. That is against the rules. And so now let's talk about some stretches that'll help you get warmed up for your game, especially if you're doing a lot of throwing. You can just, simple as it is, bring your right arm out, bring the other one, hold it for a few seconds, normally about 10 or so, then do the other arm that way. Bring one arm behind your back, try to bring it between your spine, kind of push that down a little bit. Do that for about 10 seconds, do the other way. Do some arm circles for about 10 seconds, going in the forward motion, then go backwards. Even touch your toes, kind of stretch your calves out, especially if you're going to be sprinting a lot. You can go directly down. Just do different things like that. You may even want to do the old leg grab, pull this out, and allow it to stretch your quads. And those are some stretches. There are plenty more stretches that you can work on, but those are some of the ones that we promote and recommend, especially when you're just trying to start out, get the feel, make sure you're nice and loose before the game. And so I wanted to say thank you for watching the Ultimate Frisbee instruction video. We've gone over all the mechanics, all the rules. And so when you are playing, if you are, I guess I should say, make sure that you post online some of the pictures that you take with your friends or your teammates, and post them to the Operation Unite Facebook page and the Unite Instagram. And I can't wait to see you next year.
5 seconds. Shen, can he throw it the full 80 yards of the field? Are you kidding me? You are kidding me! Holy smoke! gets it off. Oh, and Lloyd catches, flips it into the end zone, and the referees say it counts.
That was unbelievable.
The rush score, they win. Scuba caught. Toronto has prevailed on the road. Behind the back flip.